Our next guests are from the Boulder-based theater company, the Catamounts, and Control Group Productions. They present immersive theater experiences and now have a new show, Rausch, coming soon. Here with us is Amanda Berg-Wilson and Patrick Moeller. How are you guys?
Awesome.
Good. Did I say the name of the show correctly?
You did.
Yeah. But not only correctly, but with the right kind of energy.
With the right, yeah, you guys have like really add some oomph to it. So talk a little bit about the show, Rausch.
You want to take it?
So the word Rausch is a German word. It means intoxication, but it's also a pivotal word in German philosophy. Rausch is life force and chaos and all of the messy vibrancy of the world. And so it's, in German philosophy, it's juxtaposed with order and harmony and melody, the symmetry that makes beauty. Yeah. And so they both relate to Greek mythology. On the one hand, Rausch is connected with Dionysus and party and revelry, and then Apollo represents the order and harmony of the beauty aesthetic. Yeah. So this show is delving into the excited chaos.
It's an outdoor immersive theater piece. So Patrick and I have both been a part of the Denver Center's last two immersive projects, Sweet and Lucky. We were both performers in it. And then I directed The Wild Party and Patrick choreographed it. And we really wanted to make sure that immersive theater continued to thrive in this community, and knew that in order to do that it needed to be something that was taken on by not just the Denver Center, and our companies are both, Control Group's a dance theater company, the Catamounts are an adventurous, boundary-pushing theater company, and we just knew that probably if anybody was going to tackle it, it needed to be us.
Yeah.
So, but immersive theater is incredibly resource intensive, and so we started to think about where can we plant it, where can we place an immersive project that's going to allow us to invest our resources wisely, because we have less of them than the Denver Center. And we started to think about Colorado and how beautiful it is. And just the experiment of taking this concept of Rausch and ecstasy and chaos and the way that we sort of lose our sense of self sometimes when we're in ecstasy, and think about how we all feel that way sometimes in the outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. And for those who don't know, explain kind of what immersive theater is. I'm an immersive theater nerd. I love it, but for some people, they might have no idea what that means. So kind of what is immersive theater?
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because I think it's something that it's an emerging field. Yeah. And so it's still being defined. I think that it really hit the United States with Punch Drunk's production of Sleep No More in New York, which is an adaptation of the Scottish play that's installed in an old hotel. It's not actually an old hotel, but that's sort of the conceit of it. And it takes place on multiple floors. There's no specific route through the piece. You just you wander into different rooms. You sometimes are engaged by a performer who takes you, maybe just you, on a particular path. But I think that what it's starting to mean, at least for us, is just a couple of key things. One, the audience is not in a conventional relationship with either the performers or the space. Right. So they're somehow engaged three-dimensionally in both the storytelling process and in the physical environment. And then also that it functions, I think, on multiple levels where you're not just being story told through words and character development, but also through movement and also through a tactile interaction with the environment, also maybe through food and drink. Yeah. And I don't know, what else do you think is sort of key to immersive theater?
I mean, definitely the richness of experience, and there are a bunch of conventions. It tends to be closer, just physically. It tends to be smaller audience groups, so that the audience really feels like they're active in the experience. They make choices about not just their viewing angle, but also how they interact. But I think the bottom line is really that when you go to a theater and sit in the dark half, you sort of leave yourself behind. You are just a set of eyes and ears and sending all of that over there to receive the art. In immersive theater, you are in the midst of it.
Yeah.
And so you are very aware of yourself as an actor, as part of the landscape. You're aware of the choices that you're making. So it's an embodied experience.
And I want to bring up, this is, you mentioned it briefly, different than some immersive experiences of this is outdoors.
Yeah.
So we're not in a building, we are
No,
in nature for this experience.
yeah.
So we're running out of time, but just briefly talk, what was the reasoning behind doing it? And from a production standpoint, how does that work out?
It was partly a financial choice that it takes away several $100,000 of set design cost, but it was also a very fascinating challenge. It's a space that has its own richness already built in. That as Coloradans, no matter what your relationship is with it, you have a deep relationship. Whether it's just looking out the window at sunsets or spending days, hiking with your, home on your back. And so it seemed like a ripe topic as well as a setting.
Yeah.
And in order to sort of prepare against the exigencies of the outdoors, we're actually starting the show on a bus. So that bus is transporting us to the outdoor location, which we won't reveal. So we reveal where the bus departs from, but not where you're going.
Okay.
And part of that is just in case the weather gets crazy, there's somewhere to duck for shelter.
Like and we are running out of time. They're telling me to wrap up, but I want to talk about, there is a Kickstarter campaign to help fund this. So talk about Kickstarter. What are some of the options they can get through that for it?
Well, first and foremost, just at the $10 level, just like a low investment, you get a pre-sale code. We only can accommodate 48 audience members a night. And so we do imagine that those tickets are going to go quickly. So that's a way of just ensuring that you get first crack at tickets. As the levels go up, we have the opportunity to let us help costume you, because part of the fun of immersive theater is getting to dress up and be part of the experience. We have playlists that we've curated. We have a provision pack, which is a little sort of fanny pack that you get to take with all kinds of goodies for the journey. So and again, we're both companies are going out on a limb. Bringing this work, so supporting us through the Kickstarter is just really an investment in this becoming a salient art form here in the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys both so much for coming on. I'm really excited for the show. I think it's going to be a fantastic show. And like you said, only 48 tickets per performance, so better get them now.